Hi, yeah, thank you for being part of all this. I hope you're enjoying it all. The run up to Christmas and all of that. But anyway, we looked at the Christmas story and around does God do adverts, and the way that the publicity campaign around Christmas just seemed to be deeply flawed. Sorry, you probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was done at night. It was done in Bethlehem. Whoever's heard of Bethlehem? Who, although people had, of course, because they were expecting the Messiah to come from there. But it was done. The angel choirs announced it, but just to a few angels, and that wasn't even on the high street. That was in the fields outside Bethlehem. The star was a symbol that worked for the rest of the world, but not for the people who actually saw it, apart from the Magi in the east. And it just seems to be the way God normally works, in that he works quietly, he works slowly, he works in a way that is unseen by most people. It's the yeast in the dough that isn't seen. It's the slow growth of the mustard seed. It's the way that Jesus rises from the dead and shows himself to 500 people, and the gospel writers don't record it. It's the way that the whole thing seems to be slightly hidden, slightly underground, and often I feel that our faith works best that way, when we're not looking for the dynamic and the spectacular and the awesome and the signs in the sky, but when we're obeying God in the small things, when we're seeing him work, not despising the day of small things, when we're seeing him work in the detail, when we're seeing the glory, but not quite where we expected it. And I suppose I just wanted to open up that whole thing around Christmas and to help us to see a bit about how we expect God to work, how we publicize what God does, and what we do with the way that the frustration sometimes, and the even the disappointment that God doesn't do more. And actually, I wanted to sort of pull back some of our expectations on that, or at least consider doing that. We need to be an expectant people. We need to be a faithful people. We need to be people who are looking for a hope and a future. But often the way we look for that is more hype than substance. And actually, the substance is a baby who is with us in the dirt, with us in the mess, and embracing that mess, and being with us in that mess, which is just a remarkable thing. And actually that echoes right back to the beginning of the Bible story, where in the chaos, in the mess, in the darkness, in the formlessness and the void, then God speaks and brings order out of that chaos. Anyway, another thing is just the authenticity of it all, and the way that God seems to value authenticity, and that our message and our life needs to match up. Our words and our actions need to match up. That when we get it wrong, we can say that because that's authentic, but we can't be getting it wrong so often that people think we haven't got anything to say or to share. So all of those things, I think, play into this amazing Christmas story, and the way that God does or doesn't do adverts. Okay, see you in a bit. I hope you enjoy it all as you talk about this, and have a good week in the lead up to the festivities. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.